okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, Joshua and Crespo have spoken well about what's going on in the football business these days. I think it's just the pressure, the financial pressure on the teams these days. You see, teams making a lot of investments in football. For example, Sunderland. Look at all the players they bought when they got into the league, right? Although they stayed with their coach. Another person who stayed longer as well, Joshua, you mentioned some of them. Is this guy, what's his name, Eddie Howe in Newcastle. I think
Yeah.
that this is the third year.
Okay, I think from
Yeah.
Bournemouth he moved to
Yeah, it's
Newcastle.
probably 3
He's
years
also
now
been
in
in the Premier
Newcastle.
League for a while too.
Yeah. It's 3 years. So you can imagine all the players that he's bought. And then so these investors or these owners of clubs these days, they want to see returns immediately. They want to remain in the league because just like Crespo said, a lot is going on in the league. I mean, who talks about the championship or the League One or League Two in England? Nobody talks about those ones, right? But I mean, maybe they talk about them, but not as much as the Premier League. Premier League is the main thing they talk about in England, right? Nobody talks about those other lower leagues. But they still play good football there. You saw what Southampton has done recently, beating most of the Premier League teams in the FA Cup. Man City, I felt Man City was lucky in that game. They should have. I think Southampton should have won that game, but it shows you there's still quality in the lower leagues, right? It's just the fact that these guys going to the Premier League, that's where the big money is. The big managers are there. The big players want to play in the Premier League. Players coming from all over the world to play in the Premier League. So there's a lot of pressure on the coaches to deliver, right? And when you're not delivering, the patience from the owners of the club sort of becomes very thin, and then you're asked to leave. Those clubs who have been patient with their managers are seeing some decent results. Because I mean, let's look at Liverpool for example. If they are sacked Slots, know where they've been today. They know where they should be. They're not doing so well, but I don't think sacking Slots would have helped because the guy just came in first and won the Premier League for them, which is not an easy thing to do. If I look at Scott Parker, I mean, he came from the Championship. I don't know what we don't see the agreements with these coaches. We don't see the details of the fine details of the agreement that they have with them. So we don't know what promises are in those agreements to say, okay, you must keep us up on the league or else you go. Or you must win your first 5 or 6 games or else you go, this sort of thing. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But from what we can see, it looks like it's just the pressure of owners wanting to remain in the league because of the big attention that the league is getting, the TV rights, the money that players are making, the clubs are making from the league, right? So that's just what it is. And the football is changing, it's really changing because the era of coaches staying long, is
No more.
going away.
As good
These
as,
days,
yeah.
it has gone.
Yeah.
Apart from Arteta and Guardiola in the Premier League, I'm not sure anyone has stayed up to 4 years in their current clubs, right? So it shows you that the things are really changing in football, and the same goes for most clubs all over the world too, right? I don't know how. I think if I look at France, for example, how long has this guy been in PSG for? When Emery was there, he was
Enrique. No, Enrique, they want to even give him 10 years contract if possible.
yeah, because he's doing so well, right? He's doing
He's
so
doing
well.
so well. Even if he doesn't do well in the next 10
win
years.
for how many years?
For how long have you seen a top coach really go to PSG and stay that long?
Exactly. That's because they've not been able to achieve what he has achieved. They've not won the Champions League before, which has always been their target for a long time. For them, the French League is like it's already done. As far as I'm concerned, French League is done. PSG will still win it this season. They will win the game next season.
Exactly.
Same thing as in Germany, Bayern Munich. You're sure that they win it again next season with the players that they have and the coach that they have currently. For them, it's just the fact that Enrique has come and done what all the coaches who have been there before have not been able to do. Right. So it's just what it is. It's just the business. The landscape is changing. There's more attention right now on being influenced. And social media too is not helping as well. The pressure of social media too is not helping. Right. It wasn't there back in the day when Arsene Wenger was in Arsenal.
Was building.
Was building up exactly. Now there's a lot of pressure from everywhere. If you watch a football game, before you know what's up, you look at YouTube, you see comments from people all over the world commenting, insulting the players, insulting the coach. Those stuff, and you're like, this wasn't like this back in the day, right? So I even feel for these players, like I imagine what they're going through in their homes when they see all this comment. It takes a lot for them to, filter the noise and focus on what they need to focus on. It takes a whole lot. I can imagine myself where I work and I get feedback from my coach sometimes, and if the feedback is not good, I know how I think about it and try to improve. Not talk of someone who sits at home, you hear millions of comments, directed at your family members too. Like when Madueke when moved to Arsenal, people signed the petition for Arsenal not to buy him. I'm like, so it shows you the pressure on football these days. So a lot of things that have changed.
Yeah.
And these things lead to a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Again, so I think owners seem to be brave. For example, in Arsenal, I think the owners have come to say that no matter what, they're sticking with Arteta. So that's what reduced the pressure on the man. No matter what right now, the pressure has reduced. But if they had not said anything with what is going on right now, losing the FA Cup, losing the Carabao Cup, they would have said, okay, it's under a lot of pressure to win it, to win something. But that's statement from the club saying no matter what, he's our guy. Sort of reduce the pressure on him. But that's the football world, unfortunately. Not all club owners will do the same thing, will stick to their managers despite the losses. So it's just what it is.